Good afternoon, everybody. This is Monday, May 19th, and I hope you're having a good start to the week. This is my check-in video for week number 2 of English 150 Section W. I'm also going to talk a little bit about paper number 2. So, first of all, I'd like to say that I've enjoyed reading yes, that is a cat behind my shoulder. So, anyway, she may move, she may not. Anyway, I've enjoyed reading your comments on Daily Comment 1 and Daily Comment 2. I have a couple of remarks about that. First of all, please remember that you need to provide both for most of them, they'll specify if they do, you need to provide both a comment and then a response to a classmate, okay? So don't forget those. Secondly, I'm fairly impressed, really, with the degree to which you are taking this and the seriousness with which you're taking this. I like the fact that you have nice long comments. I'd like to ask that for some of you, that when you write these longish comments, that you try to break them up into separate paragraphs so that they're a little easier for me to read, okay? A massive text means that you've got a lot to say, and that's very important, but you still need to break them up into paragraphs so it's a little more felicitous for a reader to consume. All right? Okay. I really enjoyed your comments on the Wendell Berry um, reading, comment number 2. A lot of you really went into detail about what you did and did not agree with Wendell Berry, and I was impressed with the fact that you talked about the fact that technology has changed a great deal. In fact, we have an internet now that we didn't have back in 1987 when he wrote his article. I was also interested to hear what you had to say about the issue of his wife typing all of his stuff. Make sure that you examine and that you understand the assumptions behind behind the assertions that you make, because it may not be the case that Wendell Berry's wife is unwilling to, for example, write or type up his handwritten work. Anyway, I'm impressed with the degree that most of you have gone to in responding in both original commenting and responding to your classmates' comments. I'd like you to keep this level of energy and intensity up. I think it's really good. Okay? Now, let me talk about paper number 2. Paper number 2 is asking you to review an article, a newspaper article, specifically an online newspaper article in the New York Times by an author named John Branch, and it's entitled Snowfall. And what the article is about, it's about an avalanche that caught several very experienced skiers in Tunnel Creek, which is a ski area in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State. All right. This article is very unique because it has both the traditional text that we've come to expect from newspaper articles, but it also has lots of multimediation in terms of still images, including graphic motion images or animations, including sort of hybrid still graphic animations, and including videos. Okay. So this is why I want you to look at it, because this is the kind of media and new literacy that you guys talked about in comment number 1, and that you're talking about in project number 1, your PowerPoint multimediated assignments. Okay? So what I want you to do with this paper is I want you to talk about 3 specific criteria. I want you to in fact, I want you to evaluate this article. I want you to evaluate making value judgments, saying whether it's good, bad, somewhere in the middle. Think of a scale of, say, 1 to 10, where 10 is the best and number 1 is not the best. Okay, and I want you to evaluate this article according to 3 criteria. Now, criteria can be considered the elements of a thing by which we evaluate it. Okay, so for example, if I'm putting on a suit to wear to work, I evaluate I make a choice based on the weather, based on what kind of tie I need to wear to go with the shirt, to go with the suit, color of shoes, that type of thing. We make value judgments, and I say, well, this is a good looking outfit because it matches, because of this, because of that. Okay, we evaluate films according to very kind of similar criteria. We evaluate films according, I mean, we decide whether we like a film or not based on, say, the music, special effects, the acting, that kind of helps, the casting, how the actors are chosen, the dialogue, the costuming. All of these are criteria by which we can judge a film. Books, many similar criteria: plot, pacing, characters, style, tone, etc. With this article, I think you might want to take a look at, well, you're going to need to choose your own three criteria, but criteria you might choose could be drawn from you might talk about the animations, might talk about the still images, you might talk about the videos, you might talk about the placement of the uh, images, the way the images and the videos and everything are placed within the text, how they appear on the screen. Okay, we call that layout, or we call that design. You might also want to talk about the appropriateness. Are these images and everything, and images, animations, etc., appropriate for this particular article? Obviously, there's the traditional text as well, so you can talk about the style, the structure, the voice, the uniqueness, the tone of the traditional text as well. So that gives you several things, and you may think of more as well, but that gives you several clusters of criteria from which to draw just the three that you're going to use. So, what am I going to ask you to do within these criteria sections? Simple. I'm going to ask you to make an evaluative assertion, that is, make a statement about whether this thing is good or not, and then give me lots of plenty of either specific examples from the text, that is, quotations from the text, or if you're not using quotations, then it's kind of hard to quote a video. Or maybe you may be able to quote a video, but it's kind of hard to quote a still picture. Give us a description of that element so that we really see it. And the reason I'm such a bear about specific detail, specific examples, uh, multiple quotations from the text, multiple descriptions of elements, is because when you do that and you use this kind of emotional detail, and you use this fullness of detail, what you do is you bring your reader closer. Okay, it's easy for us to say, for example, at the beginning of the newspaper article, the snowfall article, there is a graphic of blowing snow down a hill, and it's easy to say, well, there at the beginning of the article there is a graphic of snow blowing down a hill. Well, great. That's great, but we need more. We need to go further. We need for you to describe it and how it makes you feel, the effect it causes. So you could say, and this is it could be one of your examples. There's a graphic of snow blowing down a hill with the title and the article superimposed on it. But the snow blowing down a hill, it gives, you might want to talk about how sort of icy cold it makes you feel, or how desolate, or how barren or spooky it looks. I mean, this would be your value judgment, so you can make your own value judgment. You can describe it however you wish. But that's what I'm talking about in terms of going for this extra detail, this extra sort of emotional detail, just so that you can try to convey your feelings about the article to the reader, and so that the reader knows what you think about the article. Okay, it's really important to create this one-on-one or one-to-one connection with the reader, so that we try to replicate our experience of reading and our opinion of reading as much as possible in the mind of the reader. That's what writing is all about, to recreate reality in the mind of the reader. That's our job. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you for at least two specific quotations from the text when you're quoting from the text. And if you're using examples, if you're describing the multimedia, I need you at least two, maybe even three descriptions of the multimedia, so that we really get a full sense of two things. Number one, of the article itself, and number two, an understanding of the fact that you really paid attention to this article and are ready to talk about it. Okay? So we need three criteria, Each criterion section needs at least 2 quotations from the text and at least 2, possibly more, described examples of the multimedia if you're not using the quotations. So it can be a mix of quotations and described multimedia, or both. Okay. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I might be happy to help you. This paper is due next Monday. I'm sorry, not wrong. It's due next Sunday, this coming Sunday. So be sure to start working on it. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to send me little bits and pieces of it, I'll be happy to look at it and let you know what I think. Until then, you've got 3 daily comments to do this week. Please make sure to do them. Make sure to pay attention to whether it requires a response or not. Other than that, if you have no more questions, I'll see you on the internet. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, folks.